Hey folks, welcome to my new YouTube channel, and for the very first video I want to talk about the training that I did for the recent 100-mile ultramarathon that I have completed. It's taken me 6 or 7 years of training, 3 failed attempts to get things right, not necessarily all training, and maybe I'll talk about some of those in future videos if people are interested. But the question that I thought would be interesting for folks is, can you run a 100-mile ultramarathon on training 4 times a week? Now, running a 100-mile ultra is not just about the training, but I thought that was worth putting a video together for. Now, previously, I've trained up to 6 times a week in my other failed attempts, but I always found that recovery was quite difficult as an athlete that's getting older. I'm not the oldest in the world. I'm in now as my friends will tell me, late 40s. But as I've progressed a little bit, I've always found recovery harder as the mileage has got high. So this year I decided to ease that back a bit and run 4 times a week and see how it would go. The course I was planning to run on, or did run on, was fairly flat. The race website said that the total elevation would be about 400 meters for the full race. When I mapped it out on Strava, it looked like it was going to be about 450, and I figured this would be a pretty good shot. Now, it happened to be the weekend that Storm Amy hit the UK, and so there was this little bit of a thorn in the side as to, would a 50-mile-an-hour storm hamper things over the weekend. Now, I finished the race, so it didn't hurt it too bad. So there's that, which is a good thing. As with a lot of people, I didn't want to pay a trainer, and so I set about Googling 100-mile ultramarathon plans 4 times a week, and I came across the Marathon Handbook's training plans. There is a link on the screen. I'll put a link down below. Completely give them credit for this plan. I didn't really make any changes to it. It is available, free to use. I took their Improver plan, which is designed for established runners. I've been running for 7 years. I set out stupidly with the goal to run an ultramarathon. I started from practically nothing. I had done a little bit of running many years ago, but listened to a podcast with Zach Bitter and went, that sounds like a really good idea. Call it a midlife crisis, whatever you want. I've previously used training plans from the Ultra Ladies website, which have you running more frequently. And they're really good plans. They did me really well for 50-mile ultras, but for 100, I'm not going to say the training was the problem, but I found that whatever the combination was didn't get me across the line. So I thought this time we'll try training 4 times a week. The structure of this plan is a relatively easy run early in the week. I was doing this in predominantly zone 2. I do a lot of my training at low intensity. There was a sprint workout, which I really enjoyed. Half-mile sprints. The strength training I was not very consistent with. I normally enjoy strength training, but you'll see what I'll show you what I actually achieved in a little bit. And then back-to-back long runs. I love my back-to-back weekend long runs. And this has been a foundation of my training for a really long time, and it's kind of the foundation of the plan. So yeah, that's the plan. There's a link down below. I think you have to sign up to their website to be able to download it. You can download the PDF version that I've got here. You can download spreadsheet versions. It's a really good website. So this is what I achieved. It's a bit messy. It's a bit hard to interpret. So you can see there were a few injuries in there. There's a bit of weather problems, but if I rearrange it so that it's a bit more organized, I didn't always run on the correct day, but if I shuffle it around a bit, you can see I was relatively consistent. I tended to hit the Tuesday run pretty well, not always on a Tuesday. I was pretty good with the speed work. I like my hill repeats, but pretty good with the sprints. I occasionally swapped it out for hill reps if I was traveling. I had a couple of weeks where I didn't do very much training at all. Week 11, it was really hot in the UK. I had a bit of a foot injury, so I decided to rest and recover. Week 14, I decided to hit the strength training and go to the gym, and I screwed my back up, so I took the whole week off to rest. And then week 23, I was ill, really ill. The most I could do was a walk at the weekend. I was really nervous with that. I was on antibiotics. I was not good. And being 3 weeks out from the race, I was very nervous. But you can see, wasn't very consistent with the strength training, but was pretty good with the back-to-back long runs and hitting the Tuesday run. And I think I did pretty well mirroring the plan. And I think that's important if you want to say how effective a plan was. And I think the key with a lot of these things is finding a plan you can stick to. There's no point downloading and planning to do a 6-day-a-week training plan if you can't stick to it. I've previously, so I think the ultra ladies ultra marathon training plans are a 5-day-a-week plan. Had good success with those. I tried a Training Peaks plan that was 6 days a week, and I really struggled to hit that level of volume. 4 days a week for me works really well. It's what I'm trying to stick to now going forwards, and yeah, it was pretty successful for me. Did it work? Yeah, it did. I achieved my first ever 100-mile ultramarathon, finished in just under 29 hours. The amount of climbing was not what was listed. It didn't feel like a particularly hilly course, but there were some long, shallow ascents and descents. So there was more climbing than I expected, and the storm was really draining. That felt like you were constantly climbing, running into up to 50 mile an hour headwinds for big chunks of it. It was a very exposed course. So, yep. It was, in my opinion, the easiest plan that I've had to stick to. Like most people, probably, I work and I travel with my job. I'm fitting 4 runs in around a job, and a family life is much easier than fitting in 5 or 6. I'm lucky that I tend to have my weekends free, so I can fit in the back-to-back long runs. It was the most enjoyable 100-mile training that I've done. If this is my 4th attempt. I've trained for 5. One of them got cancelled because of that illness thing that we had happen. It's the least injury issues I've had, and the least sort of severe fatigue issues that I've had. So there were a few weeks where there was one running related injury in the entire training block. There was a gym related injury, and the other illness one was not running related at all, which is pretty good, I think. And I felt really well prepared going into the run. Apart from being ill a few weeks before, I was really confident going into the ultra that I could finish it. And yeah, so I think, and I'm not a strong, amazingly good runner. I'm not a naturally gifted runner. So can you run a 100-mile ultramarathon on 4 runs a week? Definitely. Would it work for a hilly ultra? Good question. I think if you tailored your key runs, probably. You want to make sure that your long runs, you're hitting the right kind of elevation for it. And this was a relatively flat course. I was still making sure that on my long runs, I was getting some elevation in to at least be somewhat covered. But if you're doing a hilly ultra, make sure that your long runs are covering that. But yeah, if you've got questions, stick them down below. This is the first running video I've ever made, so hopefully it's useful. Hopefully it's interesting. Hopefully someone watches it. I might do some on the nutrition. My nutrition is maybe unconventional because I tend to eat a keto-based diet. And And yeah, if you find it useful, click the like button. If you want to see more, think about subscribing, because this is a brand new channel, and maybe I'll see you next time. Bye for now.